Let us now move on to the next section of the Krudanta Prakaranam, this topic of participles. In the Ashtadhyayi, there are no sections as such, but in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, Bhattacharya Dikshita has divided this Krudanta Prakaranam into two parts, into two main parts. So Krud a thing starts this whole section, as you know, the topic of these Krit affixes. And so it goes up to the end of chapter 3. Now, Bhattacharya Dikshita in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, what he has done is that he has split this section into two parts. One, starting from here up to the end of 3.2, up to the end of the second quarter of chapter 3. That's what is called as the Purva Krudanta Prakaranam. And then after that, from 331, starts what the Siddhanta Kaumudi calls as the Uttara Krudanta Prakaranam. And within that also, within the Pura Krudanta Prakaranam, this topic of Krityaha, which we have just studied, that is presented a little bit separately because they are used in the passive, they're used in a different meaning. So the ones we're going to be studying from now on, they are going to be used in the active sense. So in order to demarcate that also, the Siddhanta Kaumudi presents the Kritya Pratyaha, the potential participles, the Krityaha, as a separate topic within the Pura Krudanta Prakaranam. And then similarly in the Uttara Krudanta Prakaranam, this topic of Unadayaha, this affix un, etc. This Unadayaha affixes which are mentioned in the Unadi Koshaha, Unadi Prakaranam, which is like an appendix to the Ashtadhyayi. It's like an appendix to the Ashtadhyayi. So that is a separate section within the Uttar Krudanta Prakaranam. So this is how we have these four sections. The four sections are one more time as follows. This subject of Krit Pratyaha starts from Krudating. And the first thing is the Krityaha, the potential participles, which go from 3195 to 31132, which we have been studying so far. That is the first little section of these participles. Then the remaining part from 31133 up to 3.2, up to the end of 3.2 of the Ashtadhyayi, that is what is the remaining part of the Purva Krudanta Prakaranam. Then after that comes 331 Unadayo Bahulam. That is the third section, so to speak, and that starts the Uttara Krudanta Prakaranam, and within that the Unadi Pratyaha are treated separately because they are like an appendix to the Ashtadhyayi. Then of course the fourth part is the remaining part from 332 up to the end of chapter 3. That's what is called as the Uttara Krudanta Prakaranam. So we have Krityaha, then the remaining part of the Pura Krudanta Prakaranam, then we have Unadayo Bahulam, Unadayaha, and then finally we have the remaining of the Uttara Krudanta Prakaranam. This is all in the Siddhanta Kaumudi. In the Ashtadhyayi, there is no, Panini doesn't make any such distinction, but in order to map out the territory, Bhattacharya Dikshita in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, he puts it like that. Okay, so what we are going to do now is that we're going to move on beyond the Kritya Pratyaha, which we have been studying, and we're going to take the next sutram here, which is Nul Trijau. The one reminder here is that these Krit affixes are by default used in the sense of the agent of the action, Kartari Krit. Kartari Krit. So from now on, we'll be using the default Kartari Krit. So far, we have been using the Tayoreva Krityakta Kadartaha, which is a special sutram for these affixes, Kritya, Kta, and Kadartaha. But now we're going to default back to the Kartari Krit. Kartari Krit. So this first sutram which we are going to study, which is Nul Trichau. Nul Trichau is this first sutram, 31133. The sutram simply specifies two affixes, Nul and Trich. Nul Trichau is Prathama Dvivachanam. And reminder for us that we are in the Adhikar of Dhatoho, which starts from 3191. So sutram simply means that these two affixes, Nul and Trich, may be used after a verbal root, and we know that by Kartari Krit, to be used in the active sense, in the sense of the agent of the action. And of course, we are in the adhikara of pratyaha parascha. These affixes will be used following the dhatuho, following a dhatuho. So pratyaha parascha, it will be used following a dhatuho. Okay, so now that is what this sutram is saying. So from now on, we will not keep on repeating this kartari krit all the time. We will so pratyaya parascha is this section, which of course starts from 311 to 312. So from now on, we will not keep on repeating the kartari krit. We have to understand it unless stated otherwise. Unless stated otherwise, we have to understand that these affixes are to be used in the sense of the agent of the action. For example, in English, you have this affix er, like goer, doer, writer, and so on and so forth. That er affix, that is a kartari krit. Kartari krit. So similarly, now we are studying these two affixes. We are going to study these two affixes, nul and trich. Nul and trich. Okay, let's look at the vritti of this sutram. So we are now starting this new topic, so to speak, within the Kranda Prakaranam. We are moving on to the remaining part of the Pura Kridanta Prakaranam. Okay, Nul Trichau. Very simple sutram. All it says is that Dhator etau staha. So following a verbal root, these two affixes may be used. Dhatoho, because we are in the Dhatoho Adhikara, which starts from 3191. The affixes nul and trich may be used after verbal root. And we also just clarified that as per Kartari Krit, the affixes are used in the sense of the agent of the action. Now, in the affix nul, you see the it letters by chutu, nakara sit sanya, and then halantyam lakara sit sanya tasya lopaha. Now, what's the purpose of these it letters? The lakara as an it at the end is only for Vedic intonation, swarartha. That doesn't concern us because we are not studying the intonation in this class. So Swara Prakaranam, we are not doing the Swara Prakaranam here. So the Lakara as an it doesn't have any implication for us right now. On the other hand, the Nakara as an it is Chutu. Nakara Adi Nakara as an it, that does have importance, of course, is that we can do operations such as Achonyiti, Atopadhayaha, and also operations such as the Ato yuk chin krutoho 7333 Ato chin krutoho. So for example, if you have dhatu like da to give, dudain dane, then we can get the form dayakaha. If your dhatu gai is to sing, then what happens to gai? Because of 6145 adech upadesh shiti, that gai becomes ga. Never forget the fact that any dhatu ending in a H letter immediately becomes a dhatu ending in a akaraha, as long as we are not going to have an affix which begins with shakar as an it. So gai, when we know we're going to add the affix nul, gai becomes ga by 6145 adech upadesha shiti, and then we apply 7333 to get gayakaha. So this 7033 was made possible because 7033 requires this affix to have nakara or the chavarga panchama nyakara as it 7333. These are all these angakaryani which we have studied before. So we should be making use of these angakaryani. So here we have studied 7333 ato yuk chinkrutoho, an angam ending in akaraha takes yuk, agamaha when followed by a chin or a krut affix which is either nyit or nit. So these operations are made possible because the affix nul has nakara as an it. And then we also know that sutram such as 72115 achonyiti. So if you take a dhatu like ni, which is prapane, to lead or to take to, so it becomes nayaka, is a leader. Nayaka is a leader because ni takes the vridyadesha, becomes nai, then echo yavayavaha becomes nayakaha. And then if you take a dhatu like pat to read, then atopadhayaha we can get the form pathakaha, pathaka and so on. So anyway, these are these operations angakaryani which are made possible because this nul has nakara as a it. Okay, how about the trich? The trich, what is the purpose of having chakara as an it in trich? Halantyam chakara it sanya tasya lopaha. Now, this chakara as an it, the reason for that really is that Panini has another affix which he prescribes, affix called trin. Trin. That's also in this section, is also krit pratyaya, affix called trin. Now, in some places in a sutram, Panini may does want to refer to these affixes trin and trich together. He wants to put a samanya nirdeshaha. Now, if this affix trich, which you are studying right now, were not to have any it letter, then what would happen? When Panini says tr in a sutram, we would only take this affix which has no it letter. This is this paribhasha which is called niranubandhaka grahane na sanubandhakasya. Niranubandhaka grahane na sanubandhakasya, which means that when you mention an affix like tr without any anubandha, without any it, then it only refers to the pure affix tr. It will not take trun with it. So basically, in order for Panini to refer to trich and trin together by simply saying tr, that is the reason why Panini attaches the chakara as an it in trich. That is the reason that Panini uses this chakara as an it in trich for the samanya grahanartham, so that Panini can then say tr and refer to both trich and trin together. So it's in order to enable Panini to refer to trich and trin together, that Panini puts the chakara as an it in trich. Because if he did not do that, and then he said just tr, then it would include only this pratyaya and not the trin. And not the trin, because if there is a pratyaya like tr, exact match with tr, then only that will be used. Because the paribhasha sutram which says niranubandhaka grahane na sanubandhakasya. When you say tr and there is an affix tr which has no anubandha on it, or no it letter, then only that will be taken. So that is why Panini, in order to avoid that situation, Panini adds this affix, adds this it letter, chakara for trich. So now when Panini says tr, it includes both trich and trin. Okay, let's take a quick example here. This is a very, very common affix, of course. You see words like karta, harta, bhokta, hanta, ganta. I mean, all is a very, very common affix. So you get many, many, many examples in Bhagavad Gita and other places also. This nul is less common, but still there are many examples of that also, like nayakaha, gayakaha, and pathakaha, and so on, adhyapakaha. So many examples are there. So let's take a prasiddhodharanam, which is karoti iti karakaha, or atva karoti iti karta. Dhatu dikrin karne, which is very famous verbal root. And let's apply these two affixes and see what form we get. Karoti iti karakaha, atva karoti iti karta, derived from dhatu kr, dikrin karne. So this means karakaha or karta means the one who does, the doer, that is called karakaha or karta. We take this dhatu kru and then apply this affix nul, because kru is a verbal root, it's a dhatu. So dhatu retaustaha, so we can use the affix nul by the sutram nul trichau. And of course kartari krit. We'll not keep on repeating kartari krit all the time. We have to understand from now on that unless stated otherwise, any krit affix is used, kartari, as agent of the action. And anubandha lopaha by halantyam, lakarasit sanya, chutu, nakarasit sanya, and tasya lopaha. Now what we need is that we need a sutram to make the aka adesha in place of vu. Now to get the form karakaha. See all the examples which I gave you before, like nayakaha, gayakaha, dayakaha, adhyapakaha. In all of the examples, we're getting this aka adesha in place of vu. The aka adesha. For that, we need the sutram 711. Yuvaranakau. That's going to be the next sutram, Yuvaranakau. So we can substitute vu by aka.